Hello and welcome back to AtomRPG and the final thoughts, my little review. Welcome to Playing Hardball. So I've just finished the game AtomRPG. You can find the playlist down there, and also up here there's a link right now. And I'm playing Trudograd now, so you're very welcome to join that one as well. You can find the playlist for that one in the description, and click the button right now here, up here as well. So what is AtomRPG? It is a so-called classic role-playing game that is heavily inspired by Fallout 1 and 2, and well, as your friendly digital neighbor next door, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about my experience, my impressions. And I like this game a lot. It is certainly something of a hidden gem. And let's dive right in. So I played this game with 3 mods. Or 4 actually. Oh no, active. Yeah, here, these ones. Harmony, More Clothes for the Cadet, Skill Book mod, and Neutron, which were actually recommended. So let's have a look there. Let me just check this. So here, you can do that in the case of AtomRPG very easily and nicely here with the workshop. That's very convenient. I wish other games would be so convenient. So it's this skill book mod that I used. The Neutron is more an overhaul, I think. This year with more clothes and armor, that felt, to me, it felt interesting. And there's this Neutron. But I do have a lot of stuff, yeah. But I didn't want to overdo it, and I didn't try too much of that. Well, and there was some stuff like this 14.5mm ammo that didn't really work with any weapons that we found. But still, I consider my playing as rather 100%. So, well, most importantly, probably the skill book mod. That adds a couple of skill books, like these ones. These are the original graphics, by the way, from Fallout 1 and 2. It's pretty cool, a nice reference. Yeah, so, and I think we are just doing a new game here, just to check it out, what's going on. So, just to remind what's going on, and I'm just telling a little bit, yeah, about possible builds and so on. So, Polina, oh yeah, let's have her, Dragana. So, the game is very much dependent on your action points. If you want to get anything done, well, and I guess you can survive with less, but I felt that it was very, very helpful to have this one here at maximum. And then it depends what you want and your playstyle. Me being a completionist and a player who likes to experience as much as possible during just one playthrough, is why I usually like to play a smart person. So yeah, if there is a mechanic that gives skill points. So therefore it's recommended that intellect is also quite high. So then of course you need to have some points somewhere. You need to lose some points somewhere, which is why I personally always have the curse of the hardball. So we are rather unlucky usually. Yeah, but at that point we can at least have more intellect, and we can see we get skill points per level. So that added up nicely, yeah, so like that. And there are people who say that attention in this game is actually not that relevant. I disagree to a degree. Same goes for personality, because, I mean, it depends what you want. But personality opens up a lot of dialogue options, and attention also makes you obviously more attentive, so you notice stuff. Yeah, but otherwise, like this, attention is probably the one that you can go the easiest without. Yeah? Let's put it like that. And with personality, and here being a woman, for example, you have it easier. And there's stuff here. Yeah. So, and I would always do something and try to take something that's interesting for you, obviously, that also gives you more of these characteristic points, because those are harder to come by than the skill points. So in the game there are a lot of characters that give you additional skills and train you in some way. Also often if you can unlock the appropriate dialogue option, either by already doing a skill check or having the personality to convince them that you are a good person or something. You know? So that makes things quite interesting. And that's one of the strengths of this game, I think. So I felt it was quite well balanced, even with these mods. We developed pretty nicely. And I think, well, these mods probably make it better. So in so far, it's recommended to take them. I took Child Prodigy to get everything higher. So by the way, you see here 10 points is already enough, right? So, and that made things certainly easier. So I went for 4 strength, I think, and took personality to 6, to 8, yeah, something like that. And you can take 2 things. Child Prodigy, there are also further perks that you can take where you can basically balance this one, yeah. But of course, like, it's not necessary. So everything works, I guess, and I felt that I didn't have too big problems in the end, yeah. But I will tell you some other stuff in just a moment. So what kind of builds are recommended? You should actually concentrate on 1 or 2 weapon skills, yeah, especially in the beginning. I personally like to have something that doesn't require ammo, so make the decision of having martial arts or melee weapons. I personally went for martial arts because you already have quite some more points here to begin with. That was basically the only reason. Yeah. There are pretty cool melee weapons, both are valid, and that's also one of the strengths of this game. I felt that it's overall quite well balanced and everything is valid even into the late game. So it doesn't matter. Yeah, some things are of course a little bit more effective than others, but you find pretty cool melee weapons later on. And you can make your own martial arts weapons. So and so far crafting, the tinkering here, is also a quite valuable skill. The crafting works very nicely in this game. That is also something I'd like to point out, and it's valid until the late game. So it's really cool. They did it very nicely. The whole atmosphere, the world building is done very nicely here. I never did much pickpocketing. It's probably also a good source of income. If you want to do that, you should increase your stealth. And I just used stealth to get closer to enemies to get the first shot. And then the combat starts usually anyway. So otherwise survival is of course good to also travel fast on the world map. Although in the end, I think there weren't any time-sensitive quests or anything. It's more a matter of how long you're on the road, and then you need to have more food. No, that's it. But despite having a distinction that made my character more hungry, so he was hungrier. Where was that actually? I think the hoarder, yeah, here, this hoarder. I think that came from the mod though. But this also gives endurance, find extra items in containers often, plus 16 carry capacity. That's what I liked, so. You become hungry twice as fast though, and minus 25 to resist knockdown. Yeah, we were knocked down quite often actually. So that is also a thing to consider. Yeah, so if you want to really be a good fighter, I would probably even go against this looking back. Although I actually, like, for my personal thing, like collecting a lot, yeah, hoarder is the way to go. But a lone wolf, for example, can also be a good thing. Yeah, when it attention plus 2, for example, here. Yeah, being a sniper, for example, that can be a good thing. So, as I said before, all weapons are quite valid. There are good perks that make every build quite valid. So you can have a pistolero or a pistolera in her case, yeah, or fire with submachine guns. There are good weapons in the game all around the places. Yeah, it's really just a matter of choice. What's more fun with you? So I don't want to spoil anything there. Yeah, otherwise, lockpicking is a little bit counterintuitive in a way, so you don't really need too many points here because you can repeat the test as long as you want, and there are also items that give you some points here, and I felt that it was never necessary. I think I left it at 30 or so. So, yeah, that's us now. I'm just mousing over it if you want to read it again. Yeah. My only real recommendation is to try and get something here that sounds interesting for you that also gives you these characteristic points, yeah, and then dexterity 10 and as much intellect as you think you can afford in regard to the other things. Endurance 7 is already rather high, by the way. So, and then of course it's important to know that weapons and some other items, they have requirements. So in terms of strength and also dexterity, yeah, so like for example a very heavy machine gun or something that obviously needs to have a higher strength, but you can still use everything, but you just get a disadvantage when aiming it, for example. Yeah? So I personally would go like with 7 attention just to notice things. So then this is the mod that we can check. Let's take action hero, sleeveless shirt and shorts, best choice for an action hero. What is this? Or do I need to click here? Yeah, there. So, mode for those who'd like to tickle their nerves permadeath. So, expert, start. So, and then 7, one prodigious ability deficits in other abilities. So, and while the... Yeah, we've got a peculiar dream. Red stars glow in the sky and giant mushrooms rise to the heavens as horned shadows dance at the edge of an ancient forest. Suddenly darkness falls. The images are eclipsed with the black void as it surrounds you. As it billows closer and closer like impenetrable smoke. As it rubs against your body like a cat. It is soothing, calming before devouring you. Ah, a nightmare. We swallow a thick lump of saliva and look around frantically. We see nothing unusual. We are in the barracks for agents about to be deployed on field work. A man is standing near us. He looks worried. Oh, having nightmares, sir? Cadet Dragana. Even yesterday, storm didn't wake you up, right? Take all the rest you can before the mission. Yeah, okay. Where am I? I can't tell. Guess I overslept. Are you pulling my leg? This is the outside portion of the Atom HQ. Let me guess. Next thing you'll ask is what year it is and what sort of a war we had 20 years ago. Well, actually, yeah. So I'm not going into this too much. As you can see already, I felt throughout the whole game it was always quite well written, and I just show you the game right now, so I'm not going into the dialogues, but I feel the graphics are also considerably nice. Yeah, I mean for an indie game it's actually pretty good, and certainly an improvement on the old Fallout 1 and 2, so that's for sure. Then what is going on here, like a CRPG, you are walking around in this isometric perspective, like this here. You have your character. Later on you get up to 4. I'm clicking I like inventory. And you've got, oh, this is Alf now, he's in our party, okay. So you have up to 4 guys. We are very hungry, we need food. Clicking C like character gives us this sign here. We do have effects on our character. Like if we get hungry, we have strength and endurance and healing rate reduction. Okay, so we don't want that, of course. Hitting Alt makes things that are interactable. Holds. Later on you get items that help you find stuff. So this is a biscuit. And then with the biscuit, this is our inventory. Right mouse button, you can just use it. Leave the mouse hovering here basically and leave the stop clicking. Yeah, and then you eat it automatically. So, and then every food item reduces hunger to a certain degree. So, food management I felt was always pretty cool, a nice addition to the game, because it's in, you know, there are survival elements here. Yeah, okay, we honest, we enter the next room and stop. Wasteland habits never die. Yeah. Let's finish the tutorial. Okay, let me finish the tutorial. So there. I just want to show around a little bit. Okay, so. And I'm also breaking this one off. So this is the beginning. What a nice night we are having. So calm, nothing can go wrong, right? This is our trusty HK-47. And our backpack, that's actually a good one. Wait a second, what's that rustling sound? That's not good, being a lady. Alone at the fireplace. Uh-oh, guys. Guys are coming around. A well-built man in his 30s emerges from the uneven shadows, dancing around your campfire. Is dressed in a musty khaki uniform. Well, would you look at that? A girl all alone in this part of the waste. Are you perchance lost? The man stops twice and rubs his hands as if to warm himself or to show off a formidable set of brass knuckles on his left hand. Or maybe you're like the little Red Riding Hood, delivering food to your sick grandmother in all these bags of yours. The man whistles at all our equipment. That's very careless. What if some big bad wolf were to start chasing you? I mean, you wouldn't last 100 meters with such heavy luggage. The stranger's face breaks into an ominous smile. Me and my pals could help you carry it. Well, not for free, of course, but for a very manageable price. What say you? We finally notice 4 other figures standing at the edge of the firelight. If we still had any doubt about what's transpiring, now it's painfully clear we are about to get robbed. So, and then you can see here, the game always tells us if there are special things. Usually this gives us some form of advantage if we do the skill check, and we always get experience for that, which is why my recommendation is to try and increase skills and abilities and everything in a way that you can expect to gain as much experience as possible, of course. But the game also gives the opportunity to just travel the wasteland and wait for random fights, which happen quite often if you want, so if you don't want to run away from them. And that will give you also experience if you want this grinding. So that's something I personally like a lot. It's a matter of choice for the character, for the player, I mean, to decide how much time they want to invest, and that can make their game easier, yeah, or quicker but harder maybe. But I felt like we never really did this grinding too much. We traveled around, took our time probably, but yeah, I never really went around to just pick a fight and wait for that. Yeah, and we made it to level 26 in the end. Yeah, so that was probably reasonable. But you can increase that, of course. And if you just like the fights, you can do it. Yeah. Or if you want to catch people and get their belongings, yeah, it's all possible. That's what I personally like. So here, speechcraft, we have enough speechcraft. Listen, I agree that sharing is caring, but all I have is the bare minimum for survival. Act like a decent human being, leave me be. The man smiles and winks at us. Don't worry, honey, we won't hurt you. Just wanted to browse through your stuff for a sec. Who knows, maybe we won't take everything, and you can lie down and rest while we are at it. What do you mean? Oh, what? Stunned. He's beating a lady, unbelievable. And that's, by the way, why you never leave your weapon alone. So, using WASD and like for going forward, backward, and to rotate Q and E, but you can also do that yourself, like in the settings. So now we are here, and now the interesting thing happens. As we can see, so there are items, there is a thing, we need to find water, but there is a mechanic about hunger, yeah, but not thirst. But thirst helps, like if this is full of water, we can drink water, and with water we can basically get the poison out of our water, so our kidneys do the work. Also there's radiation, so which means crafting. So there are some recipes, for example this do-it-yourself respirator that increases our toxic resistance, so that would be something I would do as quickly as possible. And there are some basic recipes here, yeah, and you can also experiment, just put stuff here and try out what happens. So, and I found that that was actually a really cool thing to do. They have a good number of recipes in the game. Yeah, also like high tier stuff. And as I said before, that really went into the late game. And it's a lot of fun. A very nice addition. Yeah, I know only a few games where I felt that this was done so nicely actually through the whole course of the game. So we are running around here, for example, there's a log over there, and there is a box here. Okay, there's some stuff there, or there's something. Right click, no, left click, information, it's a box. Okay, can we unlock it? Yes, we can. What is in there? Electrical tape. Okay, and there's a brick here lying on the ground. So, and the thing is, like even basic stuff does have its purpose even later in the game, and I personally feel that the game is creating a very nice atmosphere. Yeah, so the graphics are nice enough, especially for an indie game. And for me personally, it always created a very nice survival and wasteland feel, while being at the same time being rather realistic. So as we can see, it's not a total desert here, and that's also unrealistic. So like for example the Chernobyl site, yeah, is also heavily radiated, but I mean there are plants and everything, of course, so it's not a dead wasteland there. Yeah, but there, of course, there are mutation rates. So, and here we have some stuff now, and we have the sheaf. You can either click here, and then it takes everything automatically out of the inventory that we have here. Yeah, and then we can craft it. And we broke it. Fail. A few wrong moves, and you bend the spoon into a spiral. There's no more spoon, but was there ever a spoon in the first place? Well, we got unlucky there, but we could have made a sheaf. So a basic knife, basically. And now we need to find another spoon to have a basic weapon. But now we can also use the brick to beat someone up with it. Or we just punch someone, yeah? Clicking here like an old Fallout. And with right click we can change the weapon modes. Yeah, and that's the game. You run around, talk to people, find secrets, help people, do quests, and I personally find the game very, very nice. I was actually very surprised how good it is actually. As I said before, very big strength is certainly the writing, the whole atmosphere. I had a lot of good laughs. I mean, the English is not perfect, British English of course, or American English, but it's an East European game, and I'm also, as you can hear, speak with an accent, obviously, because English is not my first tongue, my first language. But well, if they want to be English a world language, then they have to cope with that. Yeah, that people are talking the language in a individual thing, obviously. Yeah, and well, there are always accents and dialects. So And I never felt that it was a problem. Yeah, sometimes, like rather rarely actually, there were some grammatical errors and misspellings, but all in all, a pretty good quality, I think. And even very big AAA titles have their problems there as well, of course. Yeah, otherwise, here with the inventory, so I did feel that this here you have just this long row, and then it becomes a very long row at some point if you're carrying around a lot. That would be my only real criticism, actually. I felt that a little bit annoying, but they actually improved this in the sequel, Trudograd, where the inventory is just bigger. So yeah, otherwise you have some stuff that you can put on your person, a helmet, mask or face area, some form of vest, and you can also use a shield or have a backpack. So a lot of interesting also tactical choices. And then let's find a fight, just so I can show you the fight. We are running around. And the game does have a cutscene here and there, a couple of them, which are also done relatively nicely, I would argue. I like the corn there. Der Otrat Neue. Yeah, the journey begins. It is night. So, and the graphics, especially the character models, are often really cool. Especially certain monsters later on. So I was really impressed. And they were actually quite creepy as well. So I want to show you, so here, nice atmosphere, this is Otrat Neue. And I'm gonna show you the fighting now. There is something here where we don't want to go close to yet. Or a secret point there. So and this is how the fight works. So once an enemy sees you, they will attack. Like this Myrmic worker here, a giant mutated ant, for example. We have the action points here, and now you see why it's so good that we have many of them. We have no idea how many points this one here has. That is also a matter of survival skill. Oh yeah, by the way, clicking C, we do have the ability tree here. And there we can get some perks, and that's like a really good thing. So what I personally liked was this here, this tree. It's fast learning, getting more skill points, and over here the bookworm, getting double skill points from reading books, the skill books. And now you see why this mod with additional skill books was actually a huge advantage. And effective training is balancing out our disadvantage with the experience gain, for example. And what is also extremely important basically for everybody is this Praetorian here. So go over Armor of God that resists knockdown. So that's also balancing our disadvantage here from being this Hoarder. Oak Skin, think like the enemy, that increases your damage resistance. And then Praetorian, because with this one your armor doesn't weight anything for you anymore, in that sense that you don't get any penalty, so you still have the dodging ability, so that's really good. Yeah, so that's my certain recommendation to get the skill, and everything else is just a matter of your style. I personally, as I said before, I recommend to have one weapon skill and also one melee. Yeah, unarmed attack. So, and for that, for example, this road here is very interesting. One of the characters you find has this road here, up to quick reaction. That's really good. Once you get this one, you are basically a killing machine, because you get 2 turns, and in the second one you can spend half of the AP again. So, and that's like really good. Yeah. Also here, getting the dodge for every action point spent, you can see the advantages that it has, that we have so many with the high dexterity, that we have so many action points, right? So, and now you just run up. Some things you can use, like kicking here. So we've got 8 points left. Let's do a regular punch, and we could do an aimed kick. Let's do that first. Clicking the mouse button, like with mouse and keyboard, holding it, and then you can also choose an area on the enemy. For example, eyes. If you hit the eyes, that's usually the hardest thing to hit. But there the enemy never has any armor, of course. Head hit can also make them, this can cause some additional effects. Eyes, hitting the eyes is obviously a blinding effect. Yeah, other things, hitting the legs, for example, will slow them down, might unarm them or reduce their damage output, make them slow or something, or reduce their attention and therefore their ability to hit someone if you hit them in the head, for example. Yeah, or reduce their action points, or cause just more damage or bleeding or something depending on your weapon. So that's a very simple but also rather effective system. Let's hit it in the eyes for 4. Oh yeah, that was cool. And then for 3 we can punch it. There. And we dodged. Or rather it missed. And let's have another aimed kick in the eyes. I like it how she did that with the feet. I never did that before because I always had a weapon. Because I used the sheath. Okay, and that's how it goes. Yeah, I mean it's the battle itself is actually very basic. I personally would have wished for some more tactical stuff because there is no real system of cover or anything. You can only walk behind something and then they can't see you anymore and can't shoot at you. But there's no cover system or so that's actually rather primitive. But it was functional, and the fighting is certainly a part of the game, probably also an essential part of the game, but it's actually, in my opinion, it's not even the real focus, but it's more an adventure game, yeah? So, and that being said, that is the game. This is Atom RPG. I like the story a lot. Lots of interesting, funny characters, a lot of funny and interesting faces also. Like, the artwork is pretty nice. Look at the reflection here in their murky little fortification. And then let's look at this guy. Halt! Who's there? Yeah, look at the face. I'm just piss off. Yeah, good luck with that. So, and there are a lot of funny people. Yeah. Well, it's also... That's a certain warning. It's also sort of an adult game, of course, because there are things that you can do with people, you know, that involve the use of condoms or not. Yeah, so, but I mean, it's all rather civil. And what I also liked is that this game is even on an intellectual level exploring the situation, the post-apocalyptic situation after an atomic war. And while games like Wasteland 3, for example, are way more extreme in exploring very deranged things like cannibalism and stuff, yeah, it's a topic in this game as well. But I felt that they never really crossed the line too much. I mean, there are, in some places, you could say that the game has a certain horror effect as well. Yeah, so you can certainly think that it's less an adventure but more a horror game in that sense. But it's never so deranged like Wasteland 3, for example, that you can also find on my channel. That you would think, oh well, this is a bit too much or something. Yeah? So I never felt that actually. Well, maybe in one regard, but that was just getting under my skin. But it was not like that they were kind of celebrating anything, yeah, or like that is a voyeurism or anything. So I personally think that this is like a really, really good game, and I do recommend it. And in the indie category, I would say that it is certainly an 83 points. 83 points. And as a normal, like overall games, yeah, including the graphics and so on, so the graphics are okay for the year 2024. They are of course not really competitive or anything, but also not so bad as we can see, so it's actually rather crisp here. And then overall games and categories, I think it's, as a CRPG, I personally would vote this one like with 81 points or so. Yeah, with the, of course, a certain deduction of the points for the graphics. Yeah, that can't compete with other games, but they do a lot of stuff right with the crafting, with the whole balancing, with the characters, with the writing, with the storyline, the plots, all the items that you get, the whole economic system that works nicely enough. Yeah, that's also the world building is very convincing, as I said before. With the resources, the resource management, so you are really going through the trash bins. Yeah, so like for example, there's one here behind the house. Yeah, and you want to go through the trash bin always. That's the treasure chest of the Wastelander. Yeah, and that is a lot of fun. So I had a lot of fun here. Very good experience. Slightly sad that it's over now, but it's also good, of course, that things do end at a point. I had a good time. I know that some people who watched the Let's Play had it too. Yeah, and I hope you do too. This is my review. See you next time and enjoy the channel. And if you want to leave a comment, have any thoughts you wish to share, please do so in the comment section. You know you're always welcome. See you next time on Playing Hardball. Bye bye.